I did pretty well too, didn't I?
Yeah, you pulled off some pretty bold moves.
Always do.
We all see the Gunpla boxes at stores and events and tell ourselves one day I'll buy and build my own, and never do. At least that's been my experience with the hobby. However, my dream of being a Gunpla head hasn't completely been foiled thanks to the release of Gundam Breaker 3. And unlike other Gundam games, the Breaker series is all about fun and creativity. It's a game that allows its players to be the ultimate mobile suit designers and build their own dream mechs up from each part. 2018's new Gundam Breaker attempted to bridge the gap between the game series and Gunpla even further, but it didn't really catch the attention of the fandom quite as much as Gundam Breaker 3 did, which brings us to the release of Gundam Breaker 4. This is Bandai Namco's chance to bring the series back to basics and leverage the recent growth of popularity within the Gundam and Gunpla brands. While there's a required time investment by the player to see everything this game has to offer, the Gundam Breaker series is definitely back with this one. Gundam Breaker 4's story mode takes place in the virtual world of GBBBB, or GB4. Although the game is still in testing, players are climbing the ranks and making a name for themselves within the community. As you enter the game as a new player, this boy named Tao takes you under his wings to teach you the basics. This is when you meet Lin, and a strange girl that looks exactly like her named Lilin, and then the story just kind of takes off from there. Each chapter consists of 5 stages that build up a new rivalry or issue that is handled during the chapter, along with an overarching narrative of hackers and bad players.
Oh, hey! Why don't we make a clan?
A clan? What's that?
I was a little surprised by the amount of backstory that some of the characters received, while other plot threads were kind of just forgotten about. I wouldn't say the story of Gundam Breaker 4 is its strong suit, but it does provide a decent player experience. The issues the characters face are fairly surface level in the beginning, and then 12 hours in, you find out something about them that makes it seem like, at one point, the story had a lot more tension and depth. The thing is, Gundam Breaker fans aren't technically here for a good story, but Bandai crafted one anyway with a large pool of characters who are interesting enough to follow until the end, but they still are largely forgettable. A significant misstep was not allowing players to create a character avatar. During scenes, your on-screen presence is your mobile suit. But my suit, especially in the beginning when you're just equipping whatever your strongest gear is, was pretty silly looking. I never felt like a badass during these scenes as rivals picked fights with my crew and I looked like a mobile suit clown. It further hurts immersion when your friends are telling you heavy secrets or revealing something about themselves, and your mobile suit just responds with a simple head nod. Sometimes you can make dialogue choices, but it doesn't affect the story at all, and can be skipped if you want. At the beginning of the review, I mentioned that the game requires a bit of an investment. Well, this is because mostly everything is locked behind the main story progression, which is about 20 hours long. That being said, this isn't a negative on the experience. In fact, I would say Gundam Breaker 4 showcases an excellent rollout of borderline complex systems, but makes them easy to understand and utilize thanks to how it consistently raises the ceiling of available options throughout the campaign. I honestly felt like a Gundam Breaker Pro by the end of it, even after years of not touching the series. Mobile suit customization is very intuitive here. However, this is a Breaker game, so your available parts come from enemies you've defeated and the difficulty that you play on. Completing the game on standard will get you a nice pull of equipment, but if you're looking for the most powerful gear, you'll need to replay stages on higher difficulties while ensuring you acquire an S ranking. When you first begin your adventure, I consider the game semi-challenging, especially if you don't upgrade your suit. You will be easily destroyed by a chapter boss. Once the game pushes you to your breaking limit, no pun intended, this is when synergy is introduced, which completely breaks the game because you'll be overpowered after you get in deep with it, but it is very, very cool. This allows you to level up weapons and even increase the rarity using items and other equipment. While plastic will power up your equipment, dismantling other weapons enables you to add their unique buffs to other equipment. This can affect things like weapon cooldown, HP gain, speed, power, and anything. Getting into this portion of the customization systems makes it possible to fine-tune and craft the perfect mobile suit. I focused all my builds on speed, which I can push even further if I initiate an EX skill like the Zero system. EX and OP skills are abilities that define your mobile suit. Depending on your equipment, certain EX skills will be available. During battles, you can raise your EX gauge through various means, which allows you to use powerful skills or repair your suit. OP skills can be acquired through equipment or builder parts, which can allow you to use specific OP skills. The cooldown of these abilities aren't as harsh as the EX skills and are generally used for combo extenders or to beef up your long-range support with extra missiles.
Let's see this thing through!
There are still melee and sword abilities as well, so you're free to create whatever you want. The missions are mostly wave-based, but there are a few defensive style missions here. Regardless, they're all pretty straightforward and kind of repetitive. Still, the added gameplay systems of breaking and acquiring rare and specific parts makes the events a little less daunting. Other than that, this is mostly a hack and slash affair, so all you have to do in every match is utilize all your abilities, exhaust all ammo, and try to avoid damage, and you'll be fine. I really liked the large boss battles. At first I thought they would just reuse the same boss rig for each of these gigantic fights, but they are all pretty unique, which made the boss fights very exciting. I found the diorama mode and overall staging options to be brilliant. This game wants you to relish in your mobile suit creations, and the time you put into creating dioramas and editing scenes will pay off through fantastic depictions of battles that could only take place in our imagination. While I am not the best designer, I found the controls to place objects intuitive and easy to use despite the option's depth. It's a great feature that I believe is meant to be where players can sink a lot of their post-game time into. This also leads me into the painting options, which are even more extensive than the diorama options. I will say that a huge downside of the experience was the music. There's a nice battle theme here, but it always plays, which only underscores the repetitive mission design. Gundam Breaker 4 is a rare example of a game that proclaims it's going back to its roots and does so without overthinking it. This is the Gundam Breaker that I've been waiting for, and the online options only add to this robust package. They definitely cut some corners with the lack of true avatar creators, and the hub area isn't the most exciting in its current state, but I'm sure it'll fill out as more players discover the joy of building Gunpla without having to actually buy and build Gunpla. Noisy Pixel is giving Gundam Breaker 4 an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Please check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up for all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.